Ladies and gentlemen, this Gaming.com video. A little late regarding this, but figure I might as well cover it anyway, just because I somehow managed to miss it. Nvidia are actually suing Qualcomm and Samsung for infringing on what it believes to be the invention of the GPU. So there is actually some legal ground here, and we'll go into that in just a second. But I just want you to think of the size of the scale of the court case just for a moment. This one's going to be pretty interesting. Now, Nvidia, it's very hard to argue, have put a huge amount into GPU and GPU computing. They've literally invested billions and years and years and years of research. And whether you're an AMD fan, whether you're an Nvidia fan, whether you're hell, and even a 3DFX fan from back in the day, you have to admit that Nvidia have done quite a lot of good for the GPU computing. Nvidia are basically asserting that they come up with a single chip which, and I quote, has all the functions necessary to process graphics and light up screens. But it's certainly fairly odd. If you were to take a look at Samsung, at least according to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, they don't build their own graphics IPs, they don't create their own GPUs really, they basically farm it out for others. So you're going to get, for example, Qualcomm or ARM or whatever, and they're going to be the ones that create it. So why in the hell are they suing Samsung? Well, Nvidia basically state that, well, they approached Samsung about this patent infringement and said pretty much that, hey, you're using a product which is infringing on our patent, and Samsung basically just, excuse the language, but they just basically told them to go jump. And they said, well, that's actually the supplier's problem, you deal with them. So instead, we're getting this really odd situation where they're suing well, Qualcomm and Samsung, but strangely enough, they're not suing, say, ARM or Imagination Technologies, which is really, really weird. So not only are they suing them, but they've also asked the courts to ban the import, sale, resale, and shipments of pretty much every single product that Samsung manufacture. This includes GPUs from ARM, from PowerVR, from Qualcomm, and oddly, Nvidia do not ask the same thing for Qualcomm themselves. So what's the bottom line here? Well, if this is to go through, you can imagine how much cash Nvidia could effectively take. They could be basically taking royalties from any or for any device which contains what is considered to be a GPU. So pretty much, if Samsung creates the Galaxy 22, then thank you, Samsung, you know, we're just going to be taking a little bit of this cash here because you happen to be having a GPU in there. I don't know how I feel about this. I like Nvidia as a company, then again, I like all companies fairly evenly, to be honest. But I don't know. It's very tricky when it comes to patents. I don't like to go for. I'd actually really hate to be the judge in this case, because here's the thing: if you're a company and you've spent billions, quite literally billions, and years of your blood, sweat, and tears, and you know, pretty much pushing to get a particular thing, and indeed, it's actually kind of funny because one of the images I actually posted just a couple of weeks back on RGT Facebook was of a chart which was showing from 96 to say 99, I think it was 96 to 99, of the different additions to GPUs. And Nvidia have put this blood, sweat and tears because back, say, in 96, right, the GPU would, well, it wasn't even the GPU back then, but it would be just doing the rendering. Then by the time 99 came about, it would also be doing triangles, it would be doing the transforming, it would be doing the lighting, it would be doing other bits and pieces as well. And now we're in the age where, of course, GPU can also be doing like GPU. I would not like to be the lawyer in these type of situations, and of course, suing, counter-suing, all you have to do is look at Apple, look at Samsung, look at all of these guys, and it's pretty much like a free-for-all right now. Every single person out there is trying to vie for every last little scrap and morsel, and of course, every company is very protective of the IP. This is even a problem when you come to like YouTube. And obviously this is not the same type of thing as, say, oh, I don't know, fair use arguments. But the situation here, I find, and I'm not like a copyright lawyer, but it becomes to the point where it's like, this, you know, how well can you kind of guard against a general idea behind it? Because if you're a company and you're trying to create a goal, right? So in other words, you have a goal, you're going to go multiple routes maybe, and the architecture might end up being a little different, but at the end of the day, the basic goal that you have is most likely going to be very similar, and that's how some of these patent infringements are coming about. Obviously, in some cases, I'm not necessarily saying in this case, blatantly, they were, let's say, inspired. Some companies were inspired by other companies' work. However, you also get to the point where it was just a logical conclusion for something to go how it was. I don't really know, to be honest. It's a really weird situation indeed, and it's very strange the way Nvidia has been very selective over who it's targeting. I don't really understand personally why they haven't, for example, targeted ARM. However, there's possibly a reason behind that, coming to think about it. ARM, you might remember, are going to be controlling some of the CPU licensing that Nvidia are going to be using, particularly the rumours are anyway for Maxwell and so on. So that would probably be bad to piss them off. But once again, it's really down to interpretation. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care and bye for now.